Just as you recap those penalties, and especially the ones in the fourth quarter, what'd you see? I mean, was it? Yeah, I know you can't blame officials or anything like that. I'm not asking you to do that, but just kind of what'd you see out of those penalties in the fourth quarter?
Well, there was definitely a couple we made. We had 6 that we were called for in the fourth quarter. You just can't have those at the end of the football game.
I mean, was it just that you look at it as a technique thing?
Yeah, what happened with all the ones that, I said it's the best way. This guys got their hands got up high, glanced the face mask or glanced the helmet a couple of times, and you got to keep your hands down underneath the clavicle.
Do you see it as a discipline issue, like mentally, or just a physical mistake kind of issue?
Thing. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, it's one of those things where sometimes they see it, sometimes they don't. But it's a physical thing where they got to keep their hands low. It's nothing has nothing to do with discipline.
Because when you look at it, I mean, those guys are just pushing hard and trying to get to the quarterback, right? And sometimes it's kind of like holding, I guess.
Some guy drops down low on you, as you're pass rushing, the guy might drop down low and your hands slide up, and sometimes your hands get up high. But we got to make sure. I talked to the team about the defense about it yesterday, about just you got to keep your hands low, keep them out of the guy's face.
I mean, as much as the missed field goals were kind of an emotional swing, did these penalties have the same impact on your team?
Those penalties are big because they're 15-yarders, and when you give them 30 yards in a drive versus a good offense, that's always hard. You extend the drive for them. Those are hard.
The play with Danny E. that basically negated the pick 6 for you guys.
Yeah.
There was some kind of contact there, or how did you view that with him covering the back? Was it the back coming out of the backfield or the receiver? Can't recall.
Yeah. They made the call.
That's a huge swing.
Yes, that was a huge swing. It's a 28-28 game at that point in time, and Anthony makes a good play, runs it down the sidelines, 35-28, and they call that back. That's a huge swing.
What do you do from a field goal standpoint now? I mean, do you have open competition for that, or can you?
It won't be open competition. We see them kick, both of them kick every day. Those are our 2 options. Paul and Meadows will probably kick them both a little bit tomorrow in practice and see where they are. But we've seen them kick. It's not like we can go out. I mean, he's got to make those, and he knows that. There's nobody that feels worse about missing those kicks than Griggs. But we have to be able to make, like I said to him yesterday, those makeable kicks that are. We're going to put him in situations where he's going to have to try a 50-yarder, and you want to go a certain percentage on those. But those ones that are in tight, those are big.
Will that change how you manage the game? I mean, that probably did a little bit when you went for it on 4th and 7 or 9 there.
Yeah.
But will that change how you manage the game?
Oh, we'll have to see. I think if you're in a tight ball game, you got to kick those field goals. When you get a chance, you got to get points on the board, especially when teams can score in a tight ball game. So you have to be able to kick field goals. But to answer your question about being able to manage the game differently, we'll see how that goes.
What was the thought process behind the drive to end the half where you had 55 seconds left, a couple timeouts? Were you going down to get into field goal range, or I guess because I know there was some talk that you left a timeout?
No, we were going down to score. We were trying to score. I can't remember how the drive ended. We took a sack. Yeah, we took a sack. And how much time was on the clock when we took the sack? It wasn't a whole lot of time.
No.
Yeah, I think it was right towards the end.
Started the drive with a minute 2.
Yeah.
You took a sack at the 49. Or the line of scrimmage was a 49.
All right, and then what happened?
And then time ran out.
Yeah, you had taken the timeout with 8 seconds left, and the next play was the sack,
Yeah, then time ran out.
and that was it.
Yeah. No, we were going down to score, trying to get as close as you can, obviously.
And you went into halftime with a timeout. You don't typically want to do that, right?
Correct.
In a situation that you wanna.
Right.
Was that a product of a young guy being out there in a 2-minute drill, or what was the
No,
time
I'll have to go
management?
back and look at that one again, because I thought the time had run out. Maybe it didn't, but I thought the time had run out on that, when he took the sack.
Right, at that, yeah, once he took the sack.
We were saving the timeout to see if we can kick a field goal.
Okay,
But on the sack, I can't remember, I thought the time had expired.
I think it did.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive it did.
No, it did expire, but I think you had, what, 6, 7, 8 seconds?
Called the timeout, did the
Before that.
sack.
And then the sack time expired.
Time
Right.
expired, 'cause the offense was still out on the field when Bowling Green was running off.
Yeah, that's what happened. So we were saving the timeout for the field goal, just in case.
You know, last week you said you wanted the ball in the back's hands against Virginia Tech.
Right.
Just from a distribution standpoint, I mean, were you happy?
I think DJ got 20 carries, and then Markel got, I want to say, he was in single digits.
Mhm.
Yeah, like 5 or 6. Yeah.
He finished with 6.
Yeah.